Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of MOPO Sports. I'm at Dave Roach 83. Remember, it's all a matter of personal opinion, it's all MOPO, but you're going to hear a lot of my MOPO today on a couple different topics. I'll start off with baseball. The World Baseball Classic just wrapped up, and the regular season is underway, and the USA team actually won the World Baseball Classic. They beat the undefeated Puerto Rican team in the finals. It's the first time that America's won this thing, so it got me actually pretty hyped up. And, with the regular season now starting, the Phillies were not great. We got some young, unproven pitching. We're rebuilding. We're trying to see what these kids actually got. So, God bless them. See what happens. But your expectations can't be too high, except for, maybe you got a favorite player here or there and you want to see this guy develop, or, so on and so forth. Ryan Howard's no longer on the team. He was like the last one of the, holdouts from the World Championship team in 2008. And, it's all new people now. I think Freddie Galvis might be the longest tenured Philly. And, that's off the top of my head. And he ain't been a Philly too long. But, that comes with the times, rebuilding. The Cubs are looking pretty strong again this year. They're liable to repeat. But, we'll see what happens. 162 games. There might be 4 or 5 into them already. But, leaving that, the rest of this podcast is basically going to be talking about, WWE programming and the last week. Basically what was WrestleMania week. And it was amazing. It's basically their Super Bowl. This ending, beginning, it's a new year. And starting on Saturday with NXT, which is, of course, the proving ground, the minor leagues of the wrestling. They had their TakeOver pay-per-view, TakeOver Orlando, which is the city that WrestleMania was at. And a couple key things. Asuka retained her her NXT Women's Championship over Ember Moon, who, both these chicks are sexy, first off, but, both of these girls can really wrestle, and Ember Moon gave this chick Asuka a run for her money, and it was under kind of shady finish, and Asuka kind of retained her belt. You might want to check out the match on the WWE Network. $9.99 a month. Your first month is free when you're a new subscriber, but check it out for yourself, but, let me know what you think. Was it shady or not? But then also, I'll flash forward, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Bobby Roode in a rematch for NXT Championship. Shinsuke Nakamura lost. So it's like, he backed down to the, back of the line, buddy, and which is really surprising to me. Bobby Roode is awesome. Two of the best in the world, and, two of the best entrances in all wrestling, too. It's pretty good. And he lost. But, I guess that's what it is, Bobby Roode is now the man in NXT. So we'll kind of go into WrestleMania on Sunday. 7 hours of wrestling between 2 hours of pre-show and 5 hours of WrestleMania. It was a bit much, honestly, but it was a roller coaster, and it was a great show. The pre-show, led by Jerry Lawler and the announcer girl. That's embarrassing now. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but they had the over-the-top Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which Rob Gronkowski of the New England Patriots actually got involved in. Oh yeah, Renee Young, the announcer chick, Renee Young, on the commentary of the pre-show. And yeah, Rob Gronkowski gets involved, and his buddy, Stay Hype, I'm forgetting, his name is coming to a blank too. He's like the Hype Bros with Zack Ryder. And, hold on, I'll find it in a second. But, yeah, Rob Gronkowski winds up getting into an altercation with Jinder Hardbody Mahal. And he roughs Jinder Mahal up a little bit, and it is pretty funny, but then the Hype Bro basically I can't believe I can't think of this guy's name. It's like I did no research for this. This is ridiculous. But anyway, he winds up winning the Battle Royal. And they also had Mojo Rawley. Sorry for all that dead air. Maybe we could cut that out somewhere. We can edit that. But, yeah, Mojo Rawley, with the help of Rob Gronkowski, gets Jinder Mahal out. And, a lot of people are upset because they thought, the Big Show or maybe Braun Strowman should have won this. But, it is what it is. I like Mojo Rawley. I think, he deserves, a little push. Then they had the Intercontinental Championship match where, Dean Ambrose actually, he fights Baron Corbin, and Baron Corbin got the nasty finisher. But Dean Ambrose is able to counter that finisher into his finisher and beats Baron Corbin. So, I'm not going to talk about every single match in WrestleMania. I'll try my best, but AJ Styles beats up Shane McMahon. He gets the victory in a pretty well received match by the crowd. It was okay. Shane McMahon did a shooting star press. He did the coast to coast, jumping from one rope to the other side of the ring. Bayley retained her title cleanly, basically, in the Fatal 4-Way Women's. And from the the pre-show, they had the Cruiserweight title, Austin Aries, of TNA and Ring of Honor fame, fighting Neville, who's the self-proclaimed king of the cruiserweights. And long story short, it wasn't the cleanest finish, but Neville beat him with the Red Arrow 1, 2, 3. And it should set them up for a couple more matches. It should be a pretty entertaining feud. But back and forth. I don't quite remember the order of the matches, but the tag team titles were defended, and it was supposed to be a triple threat, including the Certified G's, Cesaro, and the Bullet Club, or the Club, whatever you want to call them, and New Day came out like they were going to join it, but the Hardy Boys come in and make their return at WrestleMania for the championship and win the ladder match. Matt Hardy giving people the twist of fate off the ladder. Jeff Hardy doing the Swanton dive off the ladder, which hit Cesaro, but his legs landed right on Sheamus, who was on the ladder, and that ladder gave no give. So, Sheamus just, cripples off the side of this ladder, which looked funny at first, but then after seeing it again, I realized he probably really got torn up right there. That was pretty rough looking. But Hardys make their triumphant return. Are they broken? It's yet to be seen. So you got Seth Rollins versus Triple H. Nobody but really Stephanie McMahon interfering in this one. She kind of gets her comeuppance, getting thrown through a table. Triple H accidentally hits her, and she goes through the table, and then Seth Rollins hits him with the. He actually originally hit him with this Phoenix Splash. That was pretty cool, but then he hit him with the pedigree, Triple H's own move, and beat him 1, 2, 3. Then they had the Goldberg Brock Lesnar match, which was pretty cool. It's probably their best match out of all the times they fought. But I thought it was pretty funny. There's 4 moves done in this match: a spear, a German suplex, a jackhammer, and an F5. Goldberg actually speared Brock Lesnar through the barracks, on the outside. Is pretty good. But Brock Lesnar was actually able to take Goldberg to Suplex City, and they got his honor back and took the belt from him. Is this the last time we're going to see Goldberg? Who knows? But, I might have skipped the women's Raw match. I said that the SmackDown match, the 6-pack challenge. And rightfully so, Naomi comes back from injury. She lost the belt to injury, and taps out Alexa Bliss, who is one of my favorite girl wrestlers. She's so fit and so gorgeous, and just has the best heel attitude. And she actually wrestled too. Her finisher, she does this spin flip off the top rope. It's pretty good, But yeah, she got tapped out. That girl got no heart, man. She be tapping out quick. And Naomi from her hometown, wins the belt, which takes us to SmackDown Championship. Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt, and they're doing this weird fake out stuff in the ring, projecting bugs and stuff in the ring during the match. It's kind of weird, but I don't know. I guess that's where they're trying to go. But ultimately, Randy Orton beats Bray Wyatt, and for I believe the 12th or 13th time now is the WWE champion. which is a shame because Bray Wyatt as champion is like a perfect heel. You should let him get a longer run than that, but that's okay. Which takes us to the last match tonight, and sorry if I'm misremembering or skipping over things, but there's a lot to talk about, so I'm just trying to get through all this as quick as possible. The Undertaker versus Roman Reigns, and I tell you, Undertaker never looked so old. I love The Undertaker. He's one of my very favorite wrestlers. But after he lost to Brock Lesnar, whether the results of that match went the way they were supposed to or not, he should have been done after that. But, he'd go another 2 years, and Roman Reigns kind of trashed him. He kind of trashed him, and it looked ugly. And, he retired The Undertaker. I think it was always the plan anyway for The Undertaker to retire after this match. But after him, he just kept... He took an ass beating for it, though. Like, it wasn't easy for Roman Reigns. And he did dish it out a little bit. Roman Reigns kicked out of a tombstone pile driver. Undertaker kind of powerbombed the shit out of him too, and he got up. So, give credit to Roman Reigns. They are trying to portray him as he's the man in WWE. I'm a fan. I like him. I like the Undertaker. I like Roman Reigns, but the fans hate this dude. They really hate this dude. So Undertaker puts his, takes off his fighting gloves, his hat, his jacket, and lays in the middle of the ring, and walks out, basically, symbolically retiring. And, like I said, WrestleMania was pretty good. I did. I really enjoyed it. Oh, my goodness, okay. The John Cena, Miz, Maurice, and Nikki Bella match. The mixed tag team. Where everybody and their mom knew a week before WrestleMania that John Cena was going to propose to Nikki Bella at the end of the match. The surprise is that they actually let John Cena win. I was not expecting that because everybody knows he's not going to be around. But he won, and he proposed to his girl, and she said yes, and more power to him. And like I said, WrestleMania was very entertaining, but it was very long. But now, probably the best part of this whole WrestleMania week, the end, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. The Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania is always known for spectacle. And it always is a very hyped up show. So, I'll just run over some of the highlights. Roman Reigns comes out, and they boo this man for what seems like forever, honestly. For a good 5-10 minutes, honestly. But every time he tries to talk, he brings the mic up to his voice, just cursing at this man. You can hear it. And finally, he's just like, this is my yard now. And drops the mic on him and walks off. I'm like, that's awesome. Because listen, I like Roman Reigns, and I'm looking forward to see him fight in the future. Hardy Boys retain the championship versus Anderson and Gallows, the club. Still no sign of whether they're broken or not. So, you got Kurt Angle, who's recently, and I did leave this out, the Hall of Fame actually really starts all this stuff off. They do that Friday night, And Kurt Angle was one of the people who were inducted this year, and he actually is now the commissioner of Raw, who took over for Mick Foley after he was fired, and since Stephanie McMahon was thrown through that table on Sunday, she's hurt, she can't really do the job. Kurt Angle was hired, and I think that's just a phenomenal thing to do. He's a former, well, he's still a wrestler. I mean, he wrestled all over the indies in the past couple months, so no reason why he can't still wrestle, but, a Hall of Famer. And, he's very entertaining throughout the night. We find out that, the Revival made their call up from NXT to Raw, and kind of keeping things short. Another match I skipped from WrestleMania from earlier is the Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho match, which Kevin Owens won. He won the U.S. title, because we all know Chris Jericho's contract is coming up, so it's pretty much a given he was going to lose, and they're storylining him out, so he can go get a well-deserved break. He's been, hot as fire the last year or so, and, he's really done a good job lately. But, current U.S. champion is now Kevin Owens, and him and Samoa Joe are going to fight Seth Rollins and Chris Jericho. But they roll on Chris Jericho before the match, and Kurt Angle scrambling to find a replacement. Who makes his return? But Finn Balor. So, yeah, that was pretty huge. Bayley retained her, women's title. It was really just an amazing night. Going into Tuesday, where I'm just going to talk about three things here to just wrap it up with Tuesday, which was good, but not quite as good as Monday Night Raw. Ty Dillinger, Perfect 10, makes his debut from NXT, and Shinsuke Nakamura is now on SmackDown. He makes his debut, which apparently he didn't fight on SmackDown, but they did have a dark match after the show. But on Monday, they talk about a superstar shakeup, where they're going to make some trades between SmackDown and Raw. So, it's a very exciting time for WWE. Also, so this whole Hardys thing, currently they're not broken, because they have a little show after Raw called Raw Talk, and then Matt and Jeff Hardy, and they're interviewing them, and Matt Hardy's just talking normal, like a normal dude, whatever. So I'm really hoping this isn't permanent, but like I said, with everything that could happen with these shakeups on Monday and Tuesday, it's really exciting to see what's going to happen. Well, I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks for listening. What do you think about the state of WWE? What do you think is going to happen with these shakeups? Let us know. Remember, it's all a matter of personal opinion. It's all MOPO.